And we are good to go. Let me check. Here are slides. All right, can you see my screen? Good. Okay, TE Fundamentals, the first comprehensive education and certification program in token engineering. And the components or what we want to achieve with TE Fundamentals is number one, education, learn and teach the fundamentals of token engineering in theory and practice. Certification, NFT-based, build up your personal TE skill tree. So, of course, TE Fundamental will be one component in the knowledge and skills you'll acquire in the token engineering sector. And matchmaking, meet projects and other token engineers, get engaged in token engineering bounties, grants, or even a full-time role as a token engineer. Pre-signups are open. You probably know this, and we'll post the link in the chat again. Sign up and receive updates roughly on a monthly basis, and also invitations to the session we run to get ready for TE Fundamentals. And you can also learn more in a Medium article with an overview on the content and the team and the roadmap for TE Fundamentals. Our team now, with a focus on the content, TE Fundamentals, is myself, Patty. I think Patty is also in the call. This is a great chance to introduce you. Would you like to take over?
Oh, okay, sure. Hello, everyone. I am Patty. I joined the academy a few months ago, and since then I've been working to structure and build TE Fundamentals and all other courses we can. I have a background in international relations and on board games, since game design to production. So not from economy or engineering. So it's a different background as well. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm based in Brazil as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Great to have you here too, Patty. And Peter Hacker, responsible for the educational programming. He's running, for example, the CatCat study group. Andrew Penland is member of the content team with a background in math. He's actually a math professor. And also in the content team is Rudy and Julia and Chris. And Julia and Chris are also in the session today. So feel free to introduce yourself, Chris and Julia.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I cannot turn on my camera. I'm just I'm playing around with my little daughter in the meantime as well. But hi, I'm Chris. I'm working at the Institute for Crypto Economics at the Vienna University of Economics. I'm doing research and work in crypto economics projects for. I'm doing research and work in crypto economics projects for about 3 to 4 years now. Focusing primarily on distribution systems, so primary markets, secondary markets, and associated mechanisms, but also the work on economic design and token engineering. So I'm happy to yeah, I need to but I'm just happy to be part of the content production team. That's nice.
Thanks, Chris, for the introduction. And Julia.
Yes, hi. My name is Julia, and I'm also part of the content team. My background is mainly in business and economics, and I got into this by being Chris's student about a year ago. And since I've been working with him both on this project and some other projects, so I'm learning a lot. Since I'm from business and economics, I'm learning a lot about like systems and these things. And I'm really happy to be part of this team. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. We have seen first versions of the content, and I can confirm it will be great. All right, then we have Anna on board for legal topics and Raul as being the advisor for smart contracts and the NFT part. And there's an update. Jess, She has been mentor to Token Engineering Academy for a while now, and she is taking over the governance and decentralized communities part of the course. Here's an overview of the main TE Academy advisors. Michael Sargam, founder of Block Science and really a thought leader in this space. Trent McConaughey, founder of Boson Protocol, inventor of Token Spice, which is a framework for modeling and simulations in token engineering. Michael Sargam and Block Science developed CAD, which is another framework. Both are Python-based. Jessica Sartler, as mentioned, governance research at Common Stack and Block Science, and Danilo, professor of hackology, computer scientist, and cryptoeconomics researcher. Now let's take a look at the curriculum. So what can you expect to learn at TE Fundamentals? And I'll walk you through the content. Chris, you jump in whenever you'd like to add something.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, oops, wait, I have to skip back. Okay, the first part will be an introduction to cryptoeconomic systems. So what are cryptoeconomic systems? Why do we decentralize purpose-driven economies? Crypto economies as complex systems, super important, and engineering ethics. And some of these topics are part of the TE 360 sessions. So those of you who have been there might realize, oh yes, I've heard and seen some of these topics already. Then we dive into the token engineering process. Its discovery, design, and deployment. And this, I bet, sounds familiar to all the engineers in our community. In the discovery part, we'll discuss system requirements and the context of cryptoeconomic systems, the metrics, agents, and their goals. In the design parts, we'll see now the requirements mapped out in a diagramming language. We'll introduce a couple of tools and templates and different diagramming languages, each with their specific strength, and then move forward with the mathematical specification and the formal description of a system and the mechanism design. And to then implement this system in a digital twin. And we'll provide examples. We'll run through this whole process by example of an AMM, and then build a Python digital twin, run experiments and simulations, system identification, and then introduce system governance. And since in this process, we draw from various existing disciplines, there'll also be refreshers in economics, mathematics, system theory, simulation, scientific computing for token engineers particularly. And then the justice part, decentralized governance, DAOs, these new organizations, governance surface as what are we actually governing here, algorithms as policy, and computer-aided governance being this layer of token-based governance. This is the overview on the content you can expect. And maybe before we dig into the teaching methods, let's first check. Do you have any questions here?
Is there any specific AMM which you will be taking?
Mm-hmm. We start with simple constant product 2-token AMM, like the Uniswap. And then I think we are still fleshing out higher dimensional AMMs and variants of AMMs to be part of the course as well. Mia confirms.
I think I just have a lot of questions, like how can I prepare for this, right? And quite a short amount of time, because I have, like, 10 years ago, I got interested in Python. So it's not entirely foreign, but you know, I didn't have use at the time for it, right? Now I have, like, I'm working with Blender all the time, for example, or I do visual scripting to create materials. So, but that is, like, so different. So how can I make this work for me? I guess that's my question.
Yeah. Some words from my side, and then Chris and Julia, feel free to add something. To become a token engineer, it's definitely worth any time to go back to Python and just improve your skills in Python. That's, even though you might not be the developer in a token engineering team finally, but it's just important to really understand how a model is built, to read, and also for the course. I mean, the course doesn't require Python rocket science, but Python will be relevant in any single token engineering project. So an ideal preparation now, using the time until the course is live, is go to all the, I mean, there are loads of Python online courses, really great materials out there. Make sure to dig in, and this will really help you for anything T fundamentals course, and also any kind of applied project.
Aside from that, is there anything else you recommend that we do if we don't have an engineering background, aside from Python? Because I already booked like 3 courses, so I will be very
I see. Perfect. I guess there is a lot. So maybe Chris, do you have some, I don't know, top 3 recommendations?
I mean, what you should definitely consider is looking into the articles and the videos that already exist in the token engineering space to get a good overview of the methods and the work that has been done so far, and try to incorporate the findings. I mean, it's a little bit distributed, and it's also fragmented in the sense that the field is not yet established. But I think that if you especially check out the YouTube channel of the T Academy, or the T Engineering YouTube channel, and associated Medium articles, you will very quickly find interesting projects and, as Angela said, thought leaders and pioneers in the field. So then you could basically, listening to their talks and listening to the presentations, you will already learn a lot, and then you can by yourself decide which direction you would like to follow.
Thank you.
I just dropped the link to the token engineering YouTube. And particularly if we take a look at the refreshes again, I mean, here we have a lot of links also as well. So to resources on system theory or mathematics, because again, we can't teach this from scratch. And there's a way to acquire the knowledge you need. Okay, Raul also have. Hello, Raul. Just wanted to say hi. Great to have you in the call. And Luis, you have a question.
Yeah, I had a question. In the part of the complex system theory that we're gonna cover, are we gonna enter into specific any type of modeling? Like, are we gonna cover agent-based modeling, or cellular automata, network theory? Which type of complex theory are we gonna get over? I mean, and if we need to prepare something in advance.
I would say the simulations we run are not super complex, since we started with a simple example. But of course, in token engineering, there's way more. And in this YouTube channel, you can find super interesting cases of models and simulations. Yeah, I would say the simulations we run in the course are pretty basic, I would say, as is a bachelor level.
Yeah,
Chris.
it's great to hear that you're also ambitious and want to
Yeah.
already, before the fundamentals course, prepare and to ramp up your basics and knowledge in particular things. But I think that Angela did a great job for summarizing the content. And what we tried to do in the course was to give an example and a walkthrough of an engineering process executed on the example of an AML as in Uniswap, right? So we really laid focus. We really focused on giving an overview of all of the things that are required to build such a system from scratch. So from the ideation process, from the definition of the business requirements and system requirements, over the definition of appropriate metrics to understand the system evolution, we then transitioned to building a formal mathematical model that was then finally implemented into a Python digital twin. But, and having said all this, this is quite already a lot of things that we wanted to cover. So we didn't go too deep into all of the details. So we wanted to make it possible for you to follow through from beginning to the end and really see what the evolution of such a system in a design phase looks like. But also giving you the right pointers to particular domains and particular things that you might want to explore to deepen your knowledge in one particular direction. But I don't know if there is an existing overview of things you could do upfront to prepare for this. So I hope that you still remain patient until we finish the production of the content, and then you will get the chance to look deeper into all of the details. But definitely the YouTube channels and the articles published by the token community, the token engineering community, is a first place where you could start if you were to explore things on your own.
And also, Luis, if you're interested in models and modeling and simulation, the CAD community is also, we are running monthly sessions and with presentations, and this might be also the channel itself. I'll check and drop the link at the TE Fundamentals Discord after the session. So the channel itself, because of the people there, and also the monthly calls. And Token Spice as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And I have another question. And how often per week will we meet? And how many lectures would be per week? And which gonna be the method for the lectures?
Great call. This is a fully online course. So everyone can start as soon as it's available. This will be approximately in September. You can start anytime and go over the course in your own pace. In parallel, we'll offer optional study groups to get together and go through the course together and just go, for example, working on the exercises together, but you can do it individually for yourself only as well. And also the certification will be online. We are planning for the content in terms of how much we cover for a typical, 100-hour bachelor course, meaning that we expect a typical average student to be able to complete it in 4 months with an average time per week of around 8 hours. So if you do this part-time, if you go through the course full-time, then of course you'll be faster, and also depending on your prior knowledge, you'll be faster or take more time, and both is possible.
Thank you. It looks very promising.
Okay. There was a question. Thanks. There was a question in the chat, recommend a good Python course. So the last course I took, the last online course, is a while ago. But if anyone in the call has a recommendation for a good Python course, please drop a link. That's certainly useful for everyone. Good. Any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, what's the difference between part-time and full-time in this?
Just the time you take for learning every single day. So if I say 4 months, then we calculate with somebody doing this part-time 8 hours per week. But if you can spend more time in going through the course, then of course you'll be faster than 4 months.
No, I mean, since it's equally spaced out, there's no way by which you can crash the course into a smaller time period. No?
Not sure if I get the question.
Like in the sense, like say, supposing we join a normal university, we can do a 3-year course in 2 years by taking advanced courses. You know, such a thing will not be possible here because it's over a fixed schedule.
No, it's not a fixed schedule. It's an online course that you go. There are no fixed lessons, or you can go through the course fully online with a recorded course, a pre-recorded course. So there are no live sessions like we are running it at the moment.
So how will you evaluate? I mean, is there a project at the end?
No, not like, for example, the DAO reward systems. It's not a project. We have an examination, but it's an online examination with all its limitations. But the reason we've chose this method is just we don't want to create a bottleneck. So we want to offer this fundamentals learning program to as many people as possible. And then, of course, provide additional opportunities to learn and apply the skills like we did in the DAO reward systems initiative.
Yeah, no, one last question. So, is there a cutoff percentage marks which you should achieve in these exams, and how many times can you repeat it?
Okay, the final certification and the technical implementation is not finally defined yet. So we are currently working on the certification itself and well, how to shape the questions, how to shape the grading. And here we are in the midst of designing it. And of course, this is also a matter of the technical means we can use here.
Thank you.
But I would say you should have the chance to have several trials, but I can't promise at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Stella, you have another question?
So hopefully we don't fuck it up. Okay, good to know.
At least we'll let you know in case you just have one single chance.
Okay, but in the beginning, I think there was, or maybe I misread, that you kind of will reward the certification via a non-fungible token, or is that just like an idea for right now?
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, we are in the production phase, but it will be definitely an NFT that you'll receive, an NFT that is tied to your ID. Also, then ID is wallet plus an identification of your person, so that it's compatible to other, let's say, educational proofs and skill proofs in token engineering. And yeah, it's just non-hackable and a proof of that you can then, that others can verify. For example, somebody who wants to hire a token engineer.
Really cool. I like that.
Good. All right, let's move on with the teaching methods. And here we really invest a lot to make this most accessible. Again, since we know we have people from many domains and we want to have people from many domains in the token engineering sector. So we will use multiple learning representations. So you might know the rule of 4 in math, words, graphical representation, numbers, symbols, stories, and engaging narratives so that it's easy to grasp, and going through an example step by step, clear explanation, visuals, real world examples. And we want to make the course interesting and accessible for future token engineers, and yeah, make this inviting for a wide variety of minds. coming from a design background, from an engineering economics background. It is certainly demanding in terms of a learning curve if you don't have if you're not familiar with engineering domains, systems theory, but at the same time, yeah, it's really, I'd like to say it's really a good course to learn this. And yeah, just the study groups will also help. I mean, learning together with others is always cool, but yeah, just to not get lost in things you might not have as a background. Any questions here?
Just highly appreciated that you're trying to work it out that way. Really highly
Yeah.
appreciated.
I'll let Andrew know. He's really a driver, and I'm really grateful that he pushes us to make it more accessible so that it's not like token engineering is hard, and that's why only a couple of people can do it. This is not how we look at it. Okay, let's take a look at our roadmap. We are in Q2 now. Study groups to prepare. This is already going on. The TE360 program, the CAT study group, and more to come. And the purple area is here, activities with students. In Q3, TE fundamentals will be live, and also study groups, particularly to learn TE fundamentals. Then the blue area is the content team behind it. We are building the content, we are building the learning platform, the NFT certification, and also then step by step coming closer to the launch, training tutors. And on the partner side, of course, we also want to get the projects from partners involved so that they understand how token engineering should be integrated in a crypto project's roadmap. So here, again, training partner projects and matchmaking then ultimately, because our goal with TE fundamentals is not only teaching and learning TE fundamentals, it's also having more active token engineers in the crypto space. So expect matchmaking activities with crypto projects as a student or a graduate. Finally, next steps for you as a student. Most important, pre-sign up for TE fundamentals. Then you'll get invitations for alpha testing groups. Actually, today we'll have another alpha testing going over the content with tiny groups of around 10 testers and just see what works well, what we'll have to improve. And then next step, get ready for preparing sessions like the TE360 program, or you might even consider becoming a tutor in study groups then once the TE fundamentals launch is live. If you're interested, make sure to let us know. My Discord, I just dropped it into the chat, is HydraDX, and just send me a direct message.
One clarification, you just mentioned TE physics. What is that?
Once again, the sound is a bit broken.
You mentioned something which sounded like TE physics. Was it physics?
Maybe this was a misunderstanding. I didn't talk about TE physics, maybe the TE360 program.
Okay, fine.
Or TE fundamentals.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm part of it. I guess.
Yeah, you're already there. Perfect. Go?
Yeah. Did you? Okay, fine. Yeah. No, I'd like to message you on the tutor.
Good. Nice. Any questions here on next steps or the roadmap?
Yeah, I have a quick question. That's okay. I guess the first cohort, is that going to be capped? Will it be, will everyone get in, or will it be kind of just a certain size?
So there's no limitation for the online course. So there's no application. Anyone can start the online course. anyone can start the examination and certification process. So there's no limitation. On the study group side, so where we get together every week to learn together, of course, there might be a limitation since it's just hard to have run a group with 100 people. But then also the more teams and groups we have, the larger the number of groups we can run. And I mean, for learning together, basically all you need is a Discord channel. So we don't need experts or trained token engineers to run a study group. It's learning together. So we might have several in parallel. This depends on how many tutors we have.
Oh, great. I also like the idea of like a physical study group. I know the world's a big place, but maybe, you know, meeting once in Europe and maybe in Asia one and like a America, Latin America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're Patty, maybe you want to share some news on the hosts program. I mean, it's early stage, but yeah, we've made progress.
Okay, great.
Hey, yes. So this is so great. I'll drop my my Discord tag below, and if you are interested in becoming a host, you just let me know, and we'll send you more information later. For now, we have confirmed that we will have a local study group, so physical in person in India for the moment, most likely at least one in Brazil as well, an online one in Brazil as well, and we'll have an online in New Zealand for the APAC time zone. So we have different target groups. Some people will be there just for the time zone. Some people will be there because they have a specific background that they want to share and guide the study group. So there's a lot of room. If you are interested in just joining a friend, taking a group of friends, or you are open to connect with more people, we can help you with that. So yeah, I think that's a little bit about the study groups. I'll drop my my Discord tag and you let me know. Great to see the interest.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm happy to do like a Europe or kind of UK.
Yay!
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Okay, what's left? Let me check. Become a token engineer, your next steps. Oh yes, and maybe some words about this NFT-based skill trees. So as Chris mentioned, this is really early stage. Token engineering is an early stage discipline. So there is no, well fleshed out curriculum and all the bachelor, masters, PhDs. There is not even, let's say, a map of the scientific areas in token engineering. This is all in the making. However, in this new space, crypto, we are able to create these NFTs and build skill trees or maps of a learning journey. And this can be an individual learning journey as well. And this way, formulate what token engineering as an expertise is and will be. So you start with T fundamentals with the successful completion of the course. You have an examination then. Once you are successful, you will get your certificate, which is this NFT in form of an NFT. This is tied to your ID. It will be interoperable with other T Academy NFTs, and those of you who already ever attended and were part of Open Science program, like the DAO rewards, the balancer simulations, the Hydra engineering and design, then you've already earned an NFT and you'll be able to combine it. And of course, for future projects as well, the Open Science initiatives that I've just mentioned are rather on a master level. So where you apply token engineering skills to a particular crypto challenge, you work on it pretty much in like a hackathon. You team up with others and then suggest a solution for a predefined problem. And also in the future, badges from hackathons, bounty programs, so that the NFT of TE Fundamentals becomes one part of your personal knowledge, experience, skills in the token engineering sector, and maybe even beyond. Over years then, of course, this is the long-term vision. And you build up this way your personal track record in token engineering. And the plan is to expand these skill trees and NFT certification or proofs to advanced programs on a master or PhD level, or even to particular focus areas or new roles in this sector, like the TE architect versus the TE analyst. So we currently see there's, in the last 6 to 9 months, there's a lot of activities going on in data analytics and analyzing cryptoeconomic systems for system health, for security and defense. And it seems this is becoming a new subdomain of token engineering, and of course, perfect for anybody with a background in this area, for example. And there's more to come, I'm sure, over the next years. Jose, you have a question.
Yeah, your long-term, how long-term is the shortest long-term? It's very interesting.
The shortest long-term for token engineering?
Yeah, I mean, you hinted a master's.
Okay. I would say when it comes to educational levels like bachelor's and master's, then I would say the shortest long-term is 3 years to 5 years. But in all the other activities, like, I mean, token engineering is, as in many disciplines, you'll gather the real important experience you need to become a brilliant token engineer via apply your knowledge to actual problems. And this is why I see the proofs in the applied sector super relevant. So like in a hackathon style, you applied your knowledge to a particular skill challenge. Sorry. Isn't token engineering right now a learning field without, and yes, no boundaries? Welcome to the rabbit hole. Endless learning opportunity. Yeah. Luis?
I have a question. Have you thought of partnering with like academic institutions, universities, or centers, research centers? Because I mean, I agree with Stella that this field is very new, and it's at the end it's an intersection of several disciplines and several technical disciplines. Like you can add data science inside complex theory, you can add engineering, you can add like several things. So this could be good also to be in line with academic centers. I don't know if something you thought or you deny, you hate the traditional academics environments. I don't know.
I mean, part of the content team is at the University of Vienna, and they are pretty active in the token engineering space. So there we have this connection. There's also, this is super interesting, first PhD programs who accepted a token engineering course to grant ECTS credits. However, I feel that traditional academia has still problems to really pick it up, maybe because of the cross-disciplinary nature and because it is so early. I expect that there's much more to come, but at the moment, we just decided if they don't do it, then we have to do it. So back in 2018, 2019, there was this expectation that traditional universities will offer token engineering pretty soon, but this didn't happen. So we built it ourselves.
I agree with you. And hopefully we will converge.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm also, I mean, I'm in a university, but I'm part of this because I think it's a gap. There's a gap on what was the education on this field. And do you plan to give credits for? I mean, you said something like there's a partnership with the university where you gave credits.
So it's rather that a first university, and it's not a small one. I can't disclose which one. It's a top 50 worldwide. Granted ECTS credits for our program, but this is not an official partnership, and it's also we are not accredited to be able to grant ECTS credits. So this is not an official. You can't earn a bachelor's degree, an official bachelor's degree. If we say with its bachelor level, just to give an impression of what the target group we are addressing, or what level you can expect the learning. But no bachelor's degree, no official ECTS credits at this point. But probably in crypto land, most reputable NFT, I promise. Stella, you have another question?
Not so much a question. Actually, I think it's much better what you're doing. Like if this would be a university degree, I would have, first of all, probably not joined. And then sorry, since I moved to South America, I have a very new opinion about the educational system because it's just exploiting people and not actually teaching them a lot of things that are relevant. And like you said, like academia, has constantly been slowing down. They've been slowing themselves down in a way. So, how new, how cutting edge could it be if this would be connected to university and would have go through a board of approvals, I mean, I wrote this before in the chat. It's like you wake up and a new protocol was just launched and, there's like so much new stuff to read up on how, like how would they keep track of that? So I think much better the way you do it.
Thanks, Stella. And Jose, you have another comment?
Yeah, no, this is just a kind of a request and an observation. Since all of us are from various disciplines, very broad disciplines, and there's a layer of experts above, like you, Chris, and all of that, there's a distinct possibility of actually writing papers. Okay, like, I mean, it's pretty obvious for the thing. So I hope you will give support for during this particular thing to actually generate papers, encourage it actually.
Yeah, I think this writing papers is super important in our space. There are some activities like from SCARF. This is an initiative to provide actually a publishing platform for any research and papers in the crypto space. So not only token engineering, also any cryptography, computer science. And I think this is a dedicated topic. So how to capture all the knowledge that has been developed or is developed every single day in crypto. I think it's super important.
Okay, no, let me phrase it slightly differently. Like supposing I want to write a couple of papers, and I've got a pretty long list actually. What type of, and it actually, it's in this area. Like I'm now 100% dedicated to, I mean, almost 100%. I've got other parallel interests which are complementary actually.
Yeah.
Whatever support can this particular process give?
You mean TE fundamentals?
Yeah, TE fundamentals.
Yeah.
No, let me finish. We have students with complementary interests. We have highly qualified experts, I mean, with both experience and qualifications. Tutor, I mean, teaching all that. So what type of?
I guess that depends a little bit on the goals you have. I mean, if it should be an academic paper, then
it will be an academic paper.
Yeah. Maybe Chris, I don't know if you'd like to add something here, because I guess one key challenge that we have are the publications, the peer reviews, and the scientific community around token engineering.
Yeah, this is true. So, I mean, there are obviously listening to your conversation and your comments, you mentioned a lot of downsides of academia, but there are also a lot of upsides. So it is true that it's slow, it is true that it is rigid, it is true that it's, a long process, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of evaluating and discussing. But this makes the knowledge created in academia very valuable because it is certified, it is proven, it is, validated by several people and by several by acknowledged people, right? And so in order to build up this body of knowledge and this institutional framework to be able to make those proofs, to make those reviews, to make those discussions, it takes a lot of time. And this is precisely the reason why we are not able to publish so much in token engineering, because A, there is not an established field yet, and you don't really have, the journals that would accept papers in this domain, because there is no one who would edit such a journal, because there is no one who would feel qualified to be able to make decisions on what is a valuable contribution and what is not a valuable contribution. So what you see happening is that in all of the subdomains, or all in the fields, like for example, computer science, economics, mathematics, and engineering, and so on, you have they start branching out topics on crypto, only what connects to their established discipline, right? So they don't invite, or they are not looking into things that connect to their they would increase their own scope of work. They just try to fit it into what they have already established as a body of knowledge in their field. And this is precisely the difficulty of not only building up a new field, but building up a new interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary field, right? So in order to be able to judge whether a contribution is valuable in both disciplines, you need to be knowledgeable in both disciplines. And this is tricky, right? So so this makes it difficult. And the other thing is that the academia, I mean, I agree with you, it follows a little bit the path of least resistance to some extent, that because people tend to you have wrong incentives as a young scientist, right? So your incentives is to publish, and you only get published if you contribute to existing work, because people would like to review and publish their work, right? And then also best if you cite as many people as possible who already contributed to this field, because then they would like your work because they feel like you have read their work and also want to contribute, right? So it's a little bit self-selecting to some extent, so it's very difficult to bring in new ideas, and this is the main challenge we have, right? So again, you have to be patient, and you have to invest a lot of time and stay stubborn to some extent, and believe in yourself and make sure, okay, without the recognition even of a publication, you still pursue your own work and try to publish in the field, although your paper might not be even read or reviewed by many people, right? So this is the main challenge that we have, and this is the trade-off between building up a course that is, to bring people as quickly as possible to the field, but also trying to establish a scientific field.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Let me try to be a little more specific. I've been, working on a couple of ideas, and let me just cite one. And I've actually mentioned this to Angela in the T360 thing. I mean, I think I mentioned. I'm working on in Web3. There's a huge sort of conflict now which is taking place between modern monetary theory and crypto economic systems. But actually both are after the same goal. So I've written a kind of comparison and also a reconciliation approach. And I've actually, bulleted the whole thing, put it into a kind of a framework. And I'd like to collaborate with people. I've already talked to RMIT. They are interested. I'd like to talk to Berlin, your university. We are at this, talk to many people and actually flesh it out. And I've got at least around another 10 to 12 topics like this.
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is make connections to people with in the sector economics and probably and I mean, I know you, Jose, you're pushing, and I guess ultimately this is the thing. So this community is definitely the place to meet people you can team up with and writing papers. It's just not, there is unfortunately no journal yet, no peer review process or similar in token engineering, but it might, as you say, it might be relevant for in economics, for example.
It's absolutely relevant. I'm also part of the MIT Media Labs, but I have not reached out to them. I'm part of what's Stanford, but I'd like to, for the sake, actually flesh it out.
Okay, we are on top of the hour. I guess I'll see you around in upcoming sessions and on our Discord. And feel free to drop any questions you might have. And for the rest, see you in one of our next sessions, or happy to see you as one of the first graduates of T Fundamentals.
Thank you, Angela.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.